Hello, everyone. Good evening to you all, and I'm excited to welcome you to another promising session on the GBPUSD. Well, in this video, I will be taking you through my thought process on what my expectations are as we head into the new week. And since this is going to be a follow up detail to my previous analysis, I would like to share with you some key moments that we had during the course of last week. And if you were with me throughout the course of last week, you will realize by now that we are still in a very indecisive phase, as though we had some selling opportunities at the beginning of the week, but the later part of the week saw price action climb to the upside to negate all the profit the dollar made during the course of the week. So at the beginning of the week, I shared this commentary here where we spotted a simple channel between the 1.20500 level and the 1.20250 area, where you all know what we look out for whenever we have this kind of structure. We either wait for a breakdown or break out of that channel for trading opportunity. And the consolidation phase we saw here was actually as a result of participants in this market looking forward to the outlook of the Fed chairman at the US Congress in order to make a decision of where we shall be going for the week. And what we saw here was the breakdown of that support line at the 1.20250 level to give us an outlook into where price action might be going for the week. So we had our sell position triggered at one point. Then we saw price and we saw some bullish momentum resume again. Price action got into the 1.20500. We saw another rejection of that structure. And it was at this point again, we also positioned ourselves right below the 1.20250 level to join that decline to the downside. And during the live session that was on Tuesday morning, we already had a sell position triggered here, and we continue to ride the move all the way down as price action continued to break down key structures like the 1.200 level. And we had another breakdown of the 1.19100 area, which also triggered another position in this market. And as you can see here, and not until on Wednesday we saw this consolidation phase here, which it gave us a clue that we might be having a reversal pattern gradually unfolding in this market. And we saw this situation here when we scaled down to a much more lower time frame, like the 15 minutes time frame, and this was quite visible that if a breakout of the 1.18400 level, we shall be getting ready to join that bullish momentum to the upside. Now, this is what we saw here. We finally saw the breakout of that structure, and it was at this point we begin to add more position to our existing buy position as we rode the move all the way up. If you do want to have a quick examination on how we took advantage of these trading opportunities last week, I will be dropping the link to this commentary in the comment section of this video. And if you are watching from my YouTube channel, I will be sharing the link at the top right hand side of your screen right now. So, with that being said, here let's dive into the current market structure as we take a technical dissection of it. Now, the first thing we'll be doing here is to scale up into the daily time frame. And if you look at what we have on the daily time frame here, it is quite obvious that price action has been bullish in the last 4 to 5 months. As you can see, the bullish momentum started in the month of September stroke October. And in fact, we had the bullish trend line figured out after connecting the series of higher lows to further emphasize the strength of the buyers in this particular market. However, something interesting happened during the first week of the month of December last year. We saw that as soon as price got into the 1.24500 level, we begin to see selling pressure around that area, bringing price back into the 1.185 level, a strong demand zone in this market, sharing a beautiful confluence with that bullish trend line. And at the beginning of this year, we saw another wave of bullish momentum bringing price back into that supply zone identified at the 1.24500 area. And if you look at what happened here during the throughout the month of February, we saw our price action had continued to find lower highs. But one interesting thing about this current structure is the fact that as soon as price got into that 1.1800 area, we saw bullish momentum resume again. So we were at a juncture here where um, this zone has a strong memory for buying power. And what did we see when price action got into the structure? We begin to see some bullish momentum rejecting that level one more time. And though during the course of last week's trading session, we were lucky enough to be part of the sell position as we rode the move all the way down. And as soon as price got into the 1.1800 level, what did we see again? We started seeing another buy pressure. And we were also lucky enough to be part of that bullish momentum as we rode the move all the way back into the 1.200 area. And by the end of last week trading session, we saw how price action came back to that level where the week started. And one interesting thing about this current structure is the fact that this where price action is currently sharing a beautiful confluence with that bearish trend line that has been supporting this bearish momentum since the beginning of the month of February. And at this point in time, you would agree with me that we are at a critical point in this market where anything could actually happen. We could have a situation where price could respect that bearish trend line one more time, dropping below the 1.200 level to incite another wave of bearish momentum that could finally break down that demand zone. Then another thing that could happen from this current structure is that we could have a breakout of the trend line negating the strength of the sellers at this point to incite a bullish signal where a retest of structure will definitely give us a confirmation to add more position to a potential bullish momentum at this point. So it is very important at this juncture that we need to understand how price action will be reacting to this current structure to decipher what our next line of action will be. And in fact, to be able to make things easy for us during the new week, I have identified a simple setup on our lower time frame, which I think we can use to guide our trading activity for the new week. But before I go into the details on the 4 hours time frame, I always ensure that I look at the economic calendar to see any macroeconomic event to look forward to. Definitely, we want to be looking forward to some liquidity because whatever technical structure we identify here, if there is no liquidity in the market, we will just be in the same place. So we need some catalyst that will be driving price movement. Hence, we need to know what fundamentals to look forward to and how to position ourselves in such a way that we can catch any trading opportunity for the week. Now, on the economic calendar here, the first major event is coming up on Tuesday, that is on the 14th of March. As we can see, what is going to be affecting the pounds here, we have the claim account change, rather. And with the data we have here, the previous data came in at minus 12.9 thousand. That's minus 12.9 thousand. And we have a consensus of minus 12.4 thousand, which is quite positive for the pounds. Let's see how price action is going to be reacting to this or anticipating this event. Then on that same day, we have the HIL or unemployment rate. And the data here also is showing signs of positivity for the pounds too, as well. As you can see, we have a 3.7% as against the consensus projection of 3.8%. Then on that same day, we have the consumer price index, which is also a major high impact event we want to be looking forward to. And then on Wednesday, we have the retail sales for the US dollar as well, which is doesn't look promising from the look of the current data we have here. I think that is all for the okay. So on Friday, also we have the Michigan publication for the consumer sentiment index, which gives us a measure into the inflation rate in the country. So we are going to be looking forward to this one too as well. And obviously, we want to be seeing the reflection, we shall be seeing the reflection of this anticipation on the chart as price action. And in order to have a dissection of what is going on, let's scale down to a much more lower time frame where we shall be seeing things a little bit clearer. So on the 4 hours time frame, this is what I was able to identify here. So let me zoom out a little bit. First of all, so that we can see things from an holistic point of view. And if you look at what we have here, it's quite obvious that price action has been bearish since the month of February here. And to further buttress this selling expectations here, I have a descending channel which is identified here throughout the month of February. We saw this descending channel unfold, and after connecting the series of lower highs and lower lows, we had that channel figured out. Coupled with the channel, we have two structures. We have the 1.22100 level where price action has been trading below that level since the beginning of the month of February to further emphasize the strength of the sellers. Now, we also have a structure at the 1.200 area where I told you on the daily time frame where price action is back into, as this was where the last week trading session started. Price action is back into that structure. Then remember the demand zone we identified on the daily time frame at around the 1.18 area. Now let's zoom in and look at what has been happening in this market in the last 2 to 3 weeks. Now we have price action consolidating between the 1.2210 level at the 1.18 area to further emphasize that there is an indecision in this market. And now, with the situation of things, considering how price action closed last week, we can see that price action is currently trading right around the resistant line of that descending channel here to further giving us a clue of how important the structure is and the need to understand what is going on there before making a decision on this pair. Now, the 1.20500 level, which shares a beautiful confluence with the resistant line of that descending channel, is definitely going to be the yardstick for trading activity for this week, as we need to see how price action reacts with that level to decide if we are going to be buying or selling the GBPUSD for this week. Now, around the 1.20500 area, there are a couple of scenarios that we might likely see going during the new week. We might likely see a situation where price respects the resistant line of that descending channel to incite another bearish momentum as if sudden pressure resumes below the structure on our lower time frame, and a further breakdown of the 1.200 level could probably send price crashing back into that demand zone at the 1.18 area, or in fact breaking it to the downside. So that is one scenario we are going to be taking into consideration as we continue to monitor price action. The other possible situation that could happen here following this impulsive move back into the structure, we might likely see price action break out of the 1.20500 level. And in fact, we won't be jumping right away into that structure if price action does break down that resistant line, as we will need some further confirmation to give us a clue into the strength of the buyers in this particular area. And so we want to be seeing something like a retest of the trend line, the 1.20500 level, or in fact the 1.200 area, where the most important structure we want to be looking out for is a reversal pattern on our lower time frame to join the trend continuation to the upside. So the reason why we need further confirmation, even if price action breaks out of the resistance line, is the fact that you remember price action has been trading below the 1.22100 level since the beginning of last month, further emphasizing the strength of the sellers at this particular point in market. So we need, if a breakout of the resistance line happens, we still need some further confirmation, which I said we would definitely want to be seeing a retest of structure before joining that decline, that rally to the upside. So these are my views here on the GBPUSD for the week, but be rest assured that I will be jumping in the comment section of this video to give you an update on what my expectations are for the week after monitoring how participants in this market will be reacting to the structure here in order to make a decision for the week. I hope this video has been of immense help in making your personal decision for the GBPUSD this week. And if it did, kindly support this project by clicking the like button. You would also want to follow me on my TradingView platform at Dark Sherry so that you can be part of the daily commentaries I normally share in the comment section of all of my videos. Thank you for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you right in the comment section on Monday morning as we get prepared for the new week. Do have a wonderful evening, everyone. Bye bye.